So this is a quick walkthrough of days to expiry and the key features. I'll start off with the portfolio view. This is really the center of the application, and it works best if you connect it to Interactive Brokers. Interactive Brokers has a feature called Expiry. Expiry is sort of like a report. In the good old days, that was just a report you could download, CSV format, you could investigate all of your transactions, all of that stuff. Now, Expiry is kind of that in a API format, right? So the app directly hooks into this, reads the Expiry information, and populates this whole screen with it, right? So what you'd see here would be things such as the liquidity of your portfolio and the breakdown. But what Interactive Brokers typically does not have is the option-specific lens, right? So you'll quickly, on Interactive Brokers, you get into a mode where you will not necessarily know how much of your cash-secured puts are actually not using margin, right? So it's really easy to continue to keep selling cash-secured puts, and Interactive Brokers, if you have a margin account, will use margin, but you do not know how many of these puts are actually using that unless you go into your portfolio and calculate all that through, right? So what we try to do here with days to expiry is to tell you exactly, okay, right now, of the $120,000 that you have in cash, 47 is reserved for cash secured puts that you currently have open. So you need to take care of that, right? We see that put down here with SPY. Then up here we see the portfolio state summary. The portfolio state summary will tell you that you've got a put sold against SPY that requires cash. You've got a covered call on Apple shares that you own, and here it indicates that on a holding on Microsoft there is a cash secured put that you could be selling that you are currently not, that would help you to generate income. And you could quickly click on this here and search for covered calls, right? And that covered call search will then tell you the best opportunities here for Microsoft, where, wow, if you're selling this and you go a bit further out of the money, 5%, you could still earn a decent 1% 7-day ROI on your Microsoft shares, which is quite nice. It will also tell you sort of the timing, let you know the technical context, right? So it says that the price is above the 20-day moving average. It's had a strong uptrend, but there are overbought conditions, but it thinks it's not too bad and doesn't tell you to avoid doing this. So this might be a nice area to place a covered call, as safe as you sort of want to in these volatile market conditions. You can dive in deeper and look at sort of the charts and the trends here to see these moving averages for yourself, and then head back to the portfolio, where in the portfolio view you see more things like that. So there's a perspective on leaps. You can look into your current leap positions that you have opened. You could investigate whether it makes time or it makes sense to roll these or to keep them. Here it currently looks like we're in a loss, so no point in doing anything, but I always find this useful, that when I am sort of in the profit zone, on when to take profits and when not. Income calendar will show you your cash flow based income over the months, how much you've been making with selling calls and puts, and also give you a total P&L. The total P&L is based on how much stock gains or losses you've gotten through assignments. So it'll also tell you sort of here this dashboard of what is expiring in the near term, and I find this useful to know whether I'm in the money or out of the money with a certain position. And it will also tell me to whether on some of these opportunities to take profits. So this one here is out of the money. Because it is out of the money, so far it makes sense to potentially take profit because there's not too much time value left. I mean, there is some, but it's not a huge amount. So since it is out of the money, it might make sense to close this position here and just take the profit and place a new trade. Or with this one here, to decide whether to take the assignment, which seems likely, or to think about rolling this and analyzing potentially what impact rolling this would have, right? So if we'd roll this one, here's what we could roll into. That's what it would give us. That's how long we would have to stay in this position if we were to roll into a different strike and at a different expiry date. So it helps you really explore these sort of things, and specifically down here will match with your take profit alert. So you could set up these alerts, and the alerts would happen for certain rules or for certain boundaries and thresholds that you set, right? So if there's still 7 days to go and you're 50% of the money, you'll get an alert that you should take profit on that one. And then we're going to the execution plan. The execution plan is sort of, it takes all of your holdings and your allocations. So the allocations is something you can set down here, where you define the different tech stocks and the allocations that you want to have for them. And it will then run a search over all sorts of different options based on what you have, based on what you might want to have, where your allocation isn't met yet. It will give you recommendation on what is kind of best to trade right now, right? And suggests doing a cash secured put on SPY, that giving us a premium of $260. ROI is quite low, but it seems to be the best opportunity for now. We can drill in deeper into the technicals of why that was recommended, and then I guess like to the more detailed analysis after that, you can look into all your trades, see how they've performed on an individual basis. So we opened this trade here, it got assigned on it, and you can see the ROI. ROI rolls up into here and averages everything, tells you if you've closed and bought back the option or not. Then there's a whole perspective on income. Some people use this to really generate income, setting a weekly goal or an annual goal, and then comparing monthly, annually against that goal. How close are you tracking towards making that income goal? And then the deeper dive analytics will tell you what your general win rate in selling covered calls is, and we'll show you that income view that we saw earlier. We'll tell you where your premiums are going, your puts and your call premiums, where you are reinvesting them. Do you spend a lot of that on buying them back, or do you buy leaps? Do you hold the cash? Whatever it might be, this is useful to let you investigate what's going on. Real performance, also a breakdown per ticker and per cycle. So this tells you like the whole cycle of selling a put, then getting assigned, owning the stock, then selling a covered call against that, maybe being assigned again, and tells you the potential like stock gains and losses that you had throughout that compared to the premiums that you've been collecting. Then portfolio composition, general analytics around what DTE ranges, how far out of the money, what symbols you're concentrated on, and then it will also automatically run different strategy simulations on whether you would perform better back tested against like buying and holding instead of running the wheel. So yeah, that's pretty much the core features of days to expiry, the portfolio view as we have it.